Hi everyone, just making a quick video. First off, I noticed something really interesting that I never really thought of as a symptom when I had chronic fatigue, and that is, if you go back in my videos now and you look at some of my older videos from about 6-7 months ago, you'll notice that when I breathe in, it's like kind of like asthma kind of thing. I breathe very like I'm trying to catch my breath. If that makes sense. It sounds as if I'm trying to catch my breath often. So I'm not sure what that's about, but it's gone now. But something I didn't really notice back then is that I found that I had to catch my breath more often. Another thing I want to look at is a message I got, private message of someone, and this is what you should not be if you want to recover from chronic fatigue. Alright, so I asked, when people message me, they say, what do I do? What's wrong with me? I ask a few basic questions. My questions are, what time do you go to bed? Do you play a lot of games? Are you on the computer a lot? Do you watch a lot of movies, television shows? What is your current diet like? How many calories do you eat? Do you drink stimulants, energy drinks, coffee or alcohol? Do you exercise at all? And then as a last thing, I asked them what happened around the time they got ill. This guy replied, I go to bed at random times, sometimes early, sometimes late. Mostly late though, 1 to 3 a.m. Wrong. That's the first thing that's wrong with this guy is his sleeping pattern. I'm on the computer most of the day, playing League of Legends, watching videos and stuff like that. Movies aren't interesting to me anymore, probably because of anhedonia. I don't know what that is. That's the second thing that's wrong with this guy, spending the majority of his time on the computer, which is what I did for a long time, because when you're ill, you don't know what to do, it passes the time, which is counterproductive to healing. My diet is sometimes great, sometimes bad, inconsistency. My mum makes a lot of healthy stuff, but when she doesn't, I eat cornflakes, shitty food because I have no energy to make anything. Very common with people with chronic fatigue is that when you're ill, you don't feel like cooking. For a long time, I would have one meal a day. I just didn't want to go downstairs. I didn't have the energy to prepare something. Some people do like microwave meals and stuff. That's probably the worst thing you could possibly have is microwave meals, especially if they're animal products, and cooking it in plastic as well. Jesus, it's more toxins added into your body, more just dreadful. I drink coffee mostly twice a day. Worst thing you can do with chronic fatigue. You would just blown your adrenals out even more. Coffee's filled with neurotoxins as well. Makes it harder for your body to... Basically, when you have coffee, your body's trying to expel it. That's why people generally need to pee often after coffee, because it's like a diuretic. To wake me up a bit, wrong. You're treating the cause, not the... You're treating the symptom, not the cause. I also smoke weed and drink alcohol, but I stopped smoking weed now for good. Drugs, alcohol, doesn't take a genius to realise that this is not good when you're trying to recover from a chronic illness. I drink alcohol with friends because without it I'm boring. That's something I mentioned in my other video. People with chronic illness often feel a boring person. I didn't want to speak, I didn't want to talk to people really. It felt like I was forcing the words out of my mouth instead of just talking like a normal person. And he said, this happened over 3 years ago. I was in Malia when an extremely stressful event happened there. That was the point I got ill. Stressful event probably was the tipping point. He's probably had all these habits before that point. So this stressful event was the last nail in the coffin. Boom, he went over and he hasn't been well since. He's 22. When I was 22, I was making all the wrong decisions as well, wondering why I wasn't getting well. His last comment was, thanks a lot for helping me. I know I should change my life, but it's so hard to make these decisions, especially when I don't know for sure that my problems will be solved. This kind of mentality will keep you ill lifeless and just a crap life for the rest of your life. I'm not sure I want to change these bad habits of mine unless someone gives me certainty that they will enable me to recover. This is the mindset you need to avoid when recovering. I understand that these changes are very difficult and there's a lot of changes you have to make, and it's very boring to implement them. You have to be willing to do anything to recover from this illness. You have to be willing to change everything, all your habits that you've got into the routine doing, all your favourite foods, you have to get rid of them. You have to want to move on with your life. This guy isn't there yet, because even though I was in the same situation he is, I've been ill for nearly 7-8 years, nearly twice as long as he has. I'm telling him what to do, he's still unsure if he wants to make those changes. This is the thing you need to stay away from. Be open-minded, be willing to change anything, even if it's something you don't like the sound of. You have to be willing to give up things, even if you don't want to. I like playing video games. This guy's telling me not to play video games. I don't like the sound of that. You have to be willing to do it. You have to think back to common sense. Look at everything objectively that you're doing. Is drinking this alcohol going to help my body achieve the level of health I'm looking for? Is smoking weed going to achieve the level of health I'm looking for? Now, there'll be people in the comments saying, cannabis is actually really good for you. It's one of the best things for you. I don't understand where people are getting this from, that smoking weed is incredibly healthy. It's a fucking drug. Yes, it's natural, yes, but it's not going to make you heal from anything. These people that think you can just have cannabis and cure cancer, it's insane. You can't just have a pizza and then smoke cannabis and recover from a fucking chronic illness like cancer. Where did I lose my train of thought? Oh, is this coffee that's keeping me awake temporarily and giving me a bit of an adrenaline rush productive to my body being able to achieve normal energy levels on its own? Is having this crappy food, you say cornflakes, but I don't think that's a crappy food unless it's coated in sugar and loads of kind of shit. If it's just corn, I see no problem with it. Yeah, diet is sitting playing video games and engaging my nervous system, my fight or flight and everything, productive to me recovering. All these things are adding on top of each other, and when you count all these bad habits on top, there's quite a lot of things that are hindering you from recovering. Individually they might seem small, but when you add them all on top of each other, it is quite a lot. Is going to bed 3 a.m. conducive to me recovering? No. So yeah, I just thought I'd make a video on that reply. I think it's quite an insight into a lot of people that have chronic illness. They just give up. I don't blame them. I gave up for years. You give up, you don't have the energy to continue with life. You're just going from one simple pleasure to another, just trying to find the little bits of happiness that you can find. But that's all it's gonna be if you continue to do that. So yeah, that's just a quick video. I might make another video straight after this on something else, but yeah, see ya.